Okay, Robert, in my last video, I asked you exactly 3 direct questions. And from you, I got 0 answers to those questions, which makes this comment from you in your latest video rather strange.
I have to say, Crosscheck, I think you're in over your head here.
Now, I have to wonder how it is in your mind that I'm somehow in over my head when it's you who either refuses or can't or won't even attempt to answer the questions that I ask you. But for my part, let me respond directly to some of the things and some of the questions you had in your latest video.
So now you're backtracking, doing a little damage control. Oh, wait a minute, we've got to pick up our torture stake. And that sounds like a requirement to me. Picking up one's cross. There's something more involved than just believing.
Okay, am I somehow backpedaling or changing the gospel that I preach as I go along? Absolutely not, Robert. What I'm doing is I'm correcting your false assumptions that you have about the gospel that I preach. I proved to you in my other videos, to which you have yet even to try to refute, that we are saved by faith in Jesus Christ, and that we are saved unto good works, which would be fulfilling the law of Christ, picking up our cross and carrying it, and all sorts of other good works that God has prepared for us in advance to do.
You accuse the Watchtower of promoting a false gospel for the reason that they attach certain requirements to salvation.
Okay, Robert, I absolutely stand by what I said, that the Watchtower preaches a false gospel. And one of the components of that false gospel is you must be in their organization in order to be saved. Now, I know you already made a video response on this topic, but in my mind, you said a lot of words, but you didn't really say anything or clear up the issue at all. Do you believe that it's part of the true gospel that you must become a Jehovah's Witness, a member of their organization, in order to be saved?
Let me ask you the question. You said you would respond to any question. Are Christians required to be moral? How can you say otherwise? Yes, of course. So is that a false gospel?
Robert, you're continuing to confuse the root of salvation, which is faith in Jesus Christ, with the fruits of salvation, which is following God's commands and fulfilling the law of Christ. So why is it that Christians lead a moral life? Well, Ezekiel 36 says this, and this is Jehovah speaking here. He says, I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you will be clean. I will cleanse you from all your impurities and from all your idols. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you, and I will remove your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit in you and move you to follow my decrees and be careful to keep my laws. Robert, if your faith hasn't changed you in a way that you want to keep God's laws, and your spirit moves you to keep God's laws, your faith hasn't saved you. It's a fruit of salvation, not the root of salvation. This is regeneration, sanctification. It's something that God does in the believer, in the saved one, not something that you do in your own effort in order to try to earn your salvation.
So then my real question is, do you have the honesty and the integrity and the humility to admit that you misrepresented what the Watchtower teaches? That in fact, what they stated was clearly in harmony with the Scriptures. It's not a false gospel at all. So, what will your response be?
Okay, Robert, I really don't feel like I misrepresented anything that the Watchtower teaches, nor do I feel that you've proven that I've misrepresented anything that the Watchtower teaches. The basic plan of salvation of the Watchtower is become one of Jehovah's Witnesses and join our organization. Serve the organization and do all that we tell you to do. Be a good person, and then Jesus is thrown on there like the cherry on top of a sundae. Now, I'm not going to question your integrity the way you seem to like to question mine. However, I will say that as long as you continue to absolutely and utterly avoid any questions that I ask you, I'd like to know on what basis should you be taken seriously, or anything that you teach be taken seriously, if you refuse to even examine or answer the questions that I ask you. So I'm not going to ask you any more questions in this video. I'm going to defer to the questions that I've already asked you. And I really do hope that at some point you'll respond directly to something that I've said.